Please excuse me, this may sound arrogant, but for example, a parallel. Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. It's there. It's been there for a long time and will be there for a long time. You can climb it during a certain period of time, during 2 weeks in April, I believe. You can get to the top and say, I conquered Everest. Then you've got to run down because it's going to take you down if you miss the time. After you're down, a lot of people have died there. Some made it, not many, but some make it back. But Mount Everest is still there. Is Mount Everest defeated? It's still there and it's going to take another life this April. It's just got the track history. It was 27 years ago when I started fighting, and I am still here. I have guys who have conquered me in certain periods of time out of the 68 fights. 4 of them have made it out of a 21-year professional career. The rest didn't. Most didn't, and the most amazing thing is, I'm still here, they're not. He impressed me with his attitude. He was very raw, I have to say the truth, but he was the Olympic champion. He carried himself well. He was in the background and learning. Sometimes you need to be quiet and just watch. He was observing everything. It is unusual. I had Olympic champions in my camp and former world champions. The attitude is totally different. I liked AJ's attitude. He was not trying to impress anybody. He backed off. He was sitting on the side, not talking too much. He was just watching, learning, asking questions. He was very polite. He was different than the others at this stage of experience and achievements in the sport. Those are the words of Wladimir Klitschko talking about his upcoming challenge to IBF World Heavyweight Champion Anthony Joshua on April 29th. Not too far away now, people. I'm very much looking forward to this fight. But just to comment and give my take on the things that Wladimir Klitschko said there, comparing himself to Mount Everest. He is basically saying that this is a long game and his longevity proves his quality. The fact that he has outlasted so many fighters who have come and gone over the years, despite the fact that he has been conquered 4 times. He's come back time and time again and proven that he does have a certain level of fortitude. He's gained a certain level of experience. His confidence has been galvanized to a certain extent because of those experiences. He is complimentary of Anthony Joshua, but it's clear to me in Klitschko's attitude that he believes Joshua is too raw and unrefined to beat him at this stage. This will be Anthony Joshua's 18th fight, I believe, when he steps in the ring against Wladimir Klitschko. There were a lot of different things said about the sparring that Klitschko and Joshua had. Various different people spoke on it. Malik Scott spoke on it. Dylan White spoke on it. Klitschko and Joshua, to a lesser degree, spoke on it. I'm not sure if James Ali Bashir, who is an assistant to Wladimir Klitschko, spoke on it. He might have done at some point. But various people who witnessed the sparring did actually speak on it. One thing which I found interesting that Joshua actually said about the sparring is that he didn't want to take advantage of the champ. He said when he first got in the ring, he was holding back against Klitschko. And when he went back to the corner, it may have been one of Klitschko's people. I could be wrong here because it's a long time since I saw this particular interview, but it may have been one of Klitschko's people or perhaps one of Joshua's people who said to him, "What are you doing? Like, let your hands go." And Joshua was like, "Are you sure? Because I don't want to come into the champ's camp and disrespect him and take advantage of him. I want to be respectful. I'm here to learn. I'm not here to try and prove a point." And after that, he started letting his shots go more. And according to Malik Scott, who did an interview on Eli Sekbak's YouTube channel, he said that Joshua more than held his own against Klitschko. And this was several fights ago. I think this was when Joshua had, what, maybe 10, 12 fights? Now he's 17 fights in. So we're talking about 5 or 6 fights later, maybe 7 fights later. So he's definitely better now than he was when he sparred Klitschko. Definitely. And you have to figure that Klitschko is not as good now as he was when he sparred Joshua. So it's fascinating, this fight, the build up to it, what's going to happen. Will Klitschko's class and experience tell and overwhelm Anthony Joshua? Or will Joshua's youth and vitality and strength and athleticism win the day? One thing which I haven't spoken about, which might be a factor in this fight, is that in my view, Anthony Joshua actually has quicker feet than Wladimir Klitschko. Now, Klitschko is not a slow-footed heavyweight by any stretch of the imagination. Just ask David Haye. David Haye, in his prime, had relatively quick feet for a heavyweight. I mean, pretty quick feet, above average foot speed. But his feet weren't quick enough to close the distance and land big power shots on Wladimir Klitschko. Klitschko can move. He's got good feet for a big man. In my view, Joshua has quicker feet than Klitschko. Some people might disagree with that, but I personally believe it to be the case. There has been certain fights where Joshua has been very leaden-footed. People are going to cite the Dillian Whyte fight as an example. But most of his fights, particularly since then, try and tell me that he's looked leaden-footed. He hasn't. He's looked very sharp. Also, I am somebody who likes to analyze a fighter's physical makeup, the way their body is proportioned. Anthony Joshua has fairly skinny calf muscles compared to Wladimir Klitschko, whose legs are, a lot thicker all the way down the calf. Joshua has the legs more of a sprinter, whereas Klitschko has legs more like some type of power athlete. And I think that will manifest itself in terms of foot speed. I think Joshua can skip around the ring and move around the ring faster than Klitschko can. And he may use that ability to get out of range and move in and out of range to protect himself from Klitschko's jab and Klitschko's attacks. Combine that with my belief, this is not a fact, well, neither is Joshua having faster feet, but this is my belief that Joshua probably also has the quicker reflexes than Wladimir Klitschko. Wladimir Klitschko still has quick reflexes. He's still very sharp mentally. But Father Time is undefeated. And I believe Joshua has the quicker reflexes and the quicker feet. But can he hold his nerve together to be able to take advantage of those physical advantages that he may have? It all remains to be seen, but I can't wait to find out. Let me know what you feel about Wladimir Klitschko's comments here, and let me know how you feel about my comments and my views on what Klitschko has said and the attributes that I believe both of these fighters have. Drop it all below. It's happening. I'm out.